Hi there everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a layout for Hip Kit Club and I'm using the very fabulous August kits and I am following along with the September mood board. So you just briefly saw it there. I was inspired by the top left image where we have got the straws and some little flags on the straws. Some of them almost look like washi tape, they're little banners. So I thought I would go for I would use this cut file. It's an exclusive cut file and I thought I would cut it because it had that shape, the like banner shape at the two ends of the cut file. There's also flowers on the cake and the typewriter and on the bike. So again, floral and flowers was something that I was inspired by here. And also I thought I would attempt to use the colours. Now I've gone for kind of like a soft colour palette for this layout, pinks and oranges. So I was really just trying to capture the overall feel of the layout of the mood board, rather than sticking exactly to the colour scheme. So it's got some purple in the mood board as well, some pinks, some oranges. So I've been inspired by all of those and I've gone kind of soft and girly rather than anything else. You can see that I'm using this cut file. I'm just backing it at the moment with some pieces of paper, which is one of the exclusive August papers, I have now just skipped forward a little bit. I spent some time fussy cutting out some of the flowers from one of the August papers, and I'm going to carefully arrange my flowers and pick out my flowers to show to try to capture the colour scheme of the mood board as much as I can. So I've got my photo. I started off with two. I was going to try and tuck my photo above the cut file. I wasn't happy with the two photos like that, so I've just gone down to one photo and I'm sticking it over the top of the banner cut file, just mounting it there onto a journaling card, and then I have one of the exclusive tags behind the journaling card there. I'm just building up. I've got a load of flowers, the fussy cut flowers over on the right hand side. I was originally thinking I might go for a kind of vertical design, but in the end I spread things out along the cut file itself and end up with a horizontal design. So I'm now just tying some gold thread through the tag, and now I can get everything stuck in place. I did fiddle around quite a bit. That's why the video skipped quite a bit from originally with the two photos to this point where I have lots of flowers over on the right. I really struggled just trying to arrange the elements onto this page because the way I did the cut file, I stuck it directly to my background. So instead of having a big piece that I could move around, it was actually static on the background of my page. So that's why I was struggling, because my usual style is that I like to tuck things under and in, that's why I was struggling a bit. So I had spent some time off camera trying to work out my arrangement. And that's how I came up with this, gone down to one photo, sticking it on top of the banner cut file, and then layering up the flowers all over it. So in the end, by the time I finish this layout, you barely see any of the cut file left, but that's fine because the cut file is not really the main part of this of this layout. I just really was after it because I like the florals and also the two ends with the banner. So the banner on the right hand ends up not showing, but the left hand side does. So I just use this cut file in a different way to what I would do usually, which is why I kind of struggled a little bit, but I did get there eventually, and I do like what I've managed to create at the end. I'm still just fiddling around. I'm really toying with the idea of the border around my layout. So at the moment I have that really fabulous colourful paper that I adore. It's got there's a boyish version or a bluey version and a pinky version, and I love both. I really think they're both fabulous. I really wanted to show that paper off, but I just wasn't overly happy with how it was looking around the edge. I think because it had some blue there, and the blue didn't really go with the colour scheme I was trying to achieve on the rest of my layout. So that's why it's not stuck and it's just sat there at the moment. I then changed that out for something completely different later on. So right now I'm just carrying on building up some embellishments over on the right hand side. I've just put in 2 of those trainers or sneakers from the ephemera pack. So there's one purple one and one pinky red one. Sorry, I have a helper. Hold on, I should just remove him. Okay, he's gone. Let's hope he stays settled for a few more minutes so I can get the end of this video voiceover done. So now I'm working on my title. So I've loved the word style from the ephemera, and because my daughter, we were at a theme park, we were at Legoland when this photo was taken, and she is posing there with one of her Lego friends' models, life-size model, and she just loved finding all these characters around the park. So I have multiple photos like this, Lego style is going to be my title. Because she's just she could just fit right in with the Lego friends. Okay, so I'm using the stamp set in the colour kit this month by Heidi Swap. It's letters, and it's a 2-step stamping stamp set. So it has the block letters, but then it also has detail letters. So I have used one of the Prima ink pads, the red one from the colour kit as well, to stamp my letters. I did try the purple one, but it was a bit too light, so I've gone for the red colour, and I've stamped only the detail letters rather than the block ones, and I've stamped them onto a piece of white card, and then I've cut the letters out. So I have 4 letters that I can move around. I've raised them up on foam pads. I can overlap them if I want to, and it doesn't matter if my stamping was uneven because they're cut out, so I can then arrange them as I want to. So yeah, all good. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the border around my layout. So I've decided to go for the they're not hexagons, they're chevrons. The chevrons on the orange print. So on the back it's that fabulous kind of triangle print, or big chevrons in multicolours. As much as I was in love with that paper, that wouldn't have worked for this layout. So I've gone for the other side, which is the orange, and because there are chevrons in the mood board, I thought that I would cut them out across the bottom border and across the top border, so that I have a big chevron showing at the top and at the bottom. So that's kind of, I was just trying to be inspired by the mood board, and this paper and print spoke to me, and I thought I could create something like this. So this is the really scary bit, is that I've had to get out a craft knife. Now I am terrible with a craft knife. I cut myself, I rip the paper, it never looks straight, it's a mess. So anyway, this was quite a big challenge for me to actually use a craft knife and a glass cutting mat, but I have managed to achieve something that looks just about okay with the craft knife, and I'm going to do the same thing at the top as well, but I'm going to go further down. So I'm going to not just have a small row at the top, I'm going to have a much bigger, wider border of chevrons or triangles at the top instead. So just going along with my craft knife and my ruler again. I think my issue with craft knives is that I've never had a good one. So I bought an expensive one, and it was still rubbish. So that really put me off, because I thought, well, maybe it's just me, I'm just rubbish with craft knives, but I've since discovered that actually these ones that I'm using now are much better. So these are actually surgical scalpels. I bought a pack of 10 off Amazon for like a few quid, not very much at all. It's quite amazing that you can buy something like that, to be honest. But they are surgical ones, and they are in protective sealed packets, and they are for surgical reasons. I've never used them for surgical reasons. I've only used them on projects like this, so I don't use them very often. But they are super duper sharp, and a million times better than any craft knife that I have ever bought. So just goes to show that you don't need the expensive top brands. Sometimes you can do something, you can use something that's designed for something else, and it works just as well or better, which in my case it does. So I now get on okay with it if I do, but I rarely resort to a craft knife. I'm scissors all the way. If I can cut it with scissors, that's what I do, because I'm not great with a craft knife. But I did have some success on this one. So I have distressed the edges of all the points with my scissors, and I'm now going to, I've tucked my white card in, and now I'm going to sellotape the back so that this is secure, so it won't slip around or go anywhere. But I want to raise up my triangles on foam pads, so I'm going to I've stuck it on the back so it won't move. I get it in position, and then I'm going to put foam pads underneath each one of my border triangles, and I'm just going to do that from the front of the layout, rather than there was just no way I could apply the foam pads and then put the cardstock in place. It would have just kept getting caught and wouldn't have worked. So this was, in my book, was the best way to go about doing this. This is not a technique I use that often, so it was a little challenging, but it's good to do something different once in a while, wasn't it? And I would never have done this had it not have been for the chevrons on the mood board. So sometimes having a mood board can really spark something, or really get you to try something different that you wouldn't necessarily have done before. So I do generally really love mood boards, because there's normally so many things that you can take from them. So yeah, on this occasion, flowers and the colours and the chevrons were what I was inspired by. I do have to make another layout using this mood board. So normally we would only have a mood board layout once a month, but because we now do a mood board challenge, which is what this one is for, this month I have got a slot for the mood board challenge, but I've also got a slot for regular mood board inspired layout, which we do on Sundays. So I actually have another layout coming out next week based on exactly the same mood board, but I'll tell you now, the layouts are completely so that's a great thing to remember, that if you do have a mood board, you can actually interpret it in so many different ways, and I hope that this layout and this one do inspire you to have a look at your mood boards in a different way. Okay, so I've just added some splatters of red ink from the Prima ink pad. I just put a piece onto some packaging and added some water, and then I flicked my splatters with a paintbrush. Now just adding in some more bits and pieces. So I've got a few bits from the Simple Stories sticker book. I've got a car. I'm just adding a label sticker in there. I've got a camera, and geotag. So basically I'm just really looking for the things that will work well for this layout and also are the right colours. I'm also adding some label stickers to my photo, so at the top it says enjoy the ride. We also have adventures up there too, the pink one that I just put on. At the bottom, memories made here, and underneath that, say yes to no adventures. So even though the Simple Stories stuff is travel themed, if you know, that's officially it's travel themed, but lots of my layouts, even though layouts at the moment are not travel themed, so you can they're definitely really usable even if you don't have holiday photos to scrap. Okay, so just writing in my journaling, just a couple of lines over on the right hand side, and that is me done. So I hope you've enjoyed this layout and me going on about how I use the mood board. I hope you have enjoyed it. Don't forget that if you become a Hip Kit Club subscriber, you get the main kit at a reduced price. You get a 15% discount off of all add-on kits, and you get access to exclusive cut files like the one I used today. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. That was Nikki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.